Hello everybody, my name's Isaiah, and I would just like to wish everybody a happy Lorne and a happy 30 days of Lornemas. I hope everybody's well in the community. It's been a pretty odd kind of few weeks without Lorne, to be honest. I've been used to waking up, listening to Lorne calls, and honestly, I'm starting to feel like I took it for granted a bit. I've been listening to the old calls, but it's not like waking up and a whole new fresh call is there waiting for you. And again, I'd just like to extend my warmest thank you to Ember, Ramona, anyone who contributed to the calls. It was absolutely great. Of course, there's controversy with it, but all in all, it was fucking hilarious. And I'm going to try pump out a few launch videos for you guys. I don't feel obligated to do it. I feel like I need to do it. It's a yearning I have to make lawn videos, especially during 10-year anniversary of Lorne, whatever it is. And I'm just looking at Lorne's Myspace friends today. I'm going to be analysing who Lorne was friends with 10 years ago in this period of his life. Interesting who he's friends with. Here you can see he was mates with Andrew Burkett, I believe. Andy here, he's there in the middle. I'm joking. No, I was dying though because what are the chances that one of the best you could argue Lornographers, Andrew Burkett, and Lorne had a friend called Andy, and kind of looks like Andy there in the middle. Oh, I was dying. Andy, you're a legend, mate. No hard feelings there. So let's look at his first friend. So this is, I believe, the person that Lorne says he never changed from his top person. I do recall in one instance in his chat that Kayla is second in his top friends, and he says to her, "Look, I can't put you first because there's a person there who, is more important than you." He kind of says it that way. And I'm guessing that's her. So Leanne. I'm Leanne. I love life and everything it brings. There's a bit of pussy in the photo. Not just kitty cat pussy. Could that be Amanda James? Look, this is a few years after that whole Amanda James scenario. So I doubt it'd be her because he knew she lied to him. The awful, awful lie. It's a criminal act in lying that your daughter is your niece. You should not lie about that. So I don't know who this is. Maybe another girl he was talking with. Paula? No. Maybe Paula? I don't know. To be honest, I don't really study Lornography timelines that much, at least. Let me move on to the second person, Drake87. Now, this kid would have been 20, which again is a pretty young age. And MySpace, Lorne's a 37-year-old guy, mates with a young 20-year-old. He could have been, he could have been 19. He might not have had his 20th birthday. So you got a guy here, he's friends with Drake87, Baby Girl 08, Kayla, Molly, another young kid, Mans with a love heart, and then Andrew Burkett. Oh, God. Whether Lorne used MySpace as an actual means of, talking to friends, or as a way to enable his predatory actions, or, not predatory actions, but as a way to, get pussy or whatever, why would he have a 19-year-old kid in his top friends list? And this brings me back to the idea that Lorne may have been dabbling in, homosexual tendencies and homosexual activities. Because, let's face it, a lot of people, it's talked about a lot that there are stages in your life where you will go through a time where you think you may be homosexual, or you'll have internal conflict as to whether you are, straight or gay or whatever. Lorne may have been dealing with that at the time, and the fact that he's got a 19-year-old kid second on his friends list may be attributed to that. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be friends with a guy. Of course you can, but let's face it, Lorne was fucking looking for sex. That's all he was doing with MySpace. It's all he was doing with chatting online. It was all revolved around sex. Now, if MySpace was the core friend connection component, he either must have had a lot in common with fucking shit and septic tanks with this kid, or what. Like, Lorne's got no depth to him at all. He's just a fucking pathetic loser who sits around. He can't even. Oh, he's got a chair. I wonder how many chairs Lorne had. At least Lorne had a chair in his house. If Lorne didn't have a chair, he would have had to have sat on the floor. But I know a lot of people like to stand up and use the computer, like PewDiePie. PewDiePie doesn't sit when he records; he stands up. So Lorne could have done that if he didn't have a chair. So, look, I do think Lorne was getting sexually aroused by talking to this guy in a chat room, Drake. Whether Drake was real or not, I don't know. Drake might have been, in the same boat, like having internal conflict, getting aroused by talking to men. Like, of course, I'm all for like people, doing whatever they want. If you're attracted to a man loves a man, that's fine. Like, I'm completely open-minded, to be honest. So there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just funny because Lorne's such a homophobic. It completely goes against everything Lorne stands for. Third friend, I'm not fucking surprised, baby girl 08. A little child with her other friend, and 08 suggesting she was born in 08, meaning she was, what, an embryo? Nah, that's not her birthday. She might have been 8 years old, maybe, 08. I don't know, maybe it's just a number, but maybe, like, look, Lorne, I don't know when this friend snapshot is, okay? This could have been a few days in, this could have been a few weeks in, I don't know. But the fact that Lorne had such a connection with Kayla, yet there's still another girl higher up on his friends list, highly, highly suggests that he was chatting to other girls. Why else would she be in his top friends list? What, his friends... Actually, no, it could be his niece. It could be his niece, but come on, seriously. Like, Lorne... Honestly, Lorne only uses MySpace as part of his chatting. So, like, I reckon it's just for adding friends he meets through chat rooms. Because, once you... Oh, no, that Yahoo Messenger, I think you could add friends in it and see if they were online. But MySpace was kind of an external means of talking to these people. So I think Lorne did talk to these people and meet them all through the chat room. Baby girl 08, I reckon she's a minor. The girl on the left could be over 18, but the girl on the right looks fairly young in the face. Just that jaw structure isn't fully developed. You can see the mandible is still growing. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then we've got baby girl Kayla. Just a child, really. Quite disturbing. Why he didn't put her up higher in the list? Because he was talking to her every day, webcamming her, constantly. And he had the audacity to put her forth. And, like, this is all bullshit. And in the grand scheme of things, it's fucking a friends list. Like, who gives a fuck? But kids do lend considerable weight to this idea of, Kayla could have been like, oh, who's this baby girl? She's higher up on the list than me. Fuck, Lorne. Like, what are you doing? Because Lorne does say at one stage, this chick, or at least one of the people, was above her. But now, at this point, he's got a few. Molly. What a fucking surprise. Another little girl in his friends list. Unbelievable. Look at her. She looks young. It could be a bit of a illusion. She might look smaller than she actually is. It's just the way this photo is taken. But when you look at her torso and her limb, and especially like her forearm, she looks very petite and small. Obviously, she might just be a young-looking adult, but I think she's a minor, and Lorne was trying to have his way and manipulate and, fucking molest a little girl. Messages. Cash, just a guy. I mean, again, similar to Drake 87, Lorne, I think Lorne expresses his dominant homophobicity because he is possibly conflicted about the whole sexual orientation of himself. But, you know, at the end of the day, Lorne might have just been fucking having a good time chatting about septic tanks and what are Lorne hobbies? Like, what would Lorne talk with another guy about? Geez, imagine sitting in a room with Tony and Lorne. What the fuck would they talk about, man? Like, he doesn't watch baseball, but he wears that baseball hat. Does he follow like NFL or something? Like, that's only sport, but Lorne doesn't tend to really talk about politics or anything like that either. Just what would he talk about with a guy on a chat room? I just don't know. Oh, oh my God! What a fucking surprise, Mandy Mans, another chick. To be honest, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. She does look a bit older, but she does have love hearts in her name. Now, that does suggest she is a child, capital, lowercase, love hearts, blue border. I feel like it's a chick, but back in '07, adults did do stuff like this occasionally. The internet was new. There was no social standard or social contract as to, like, what's kiddie and, no, sorry, what's childish and what, adults do. Um, But I think, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's an adult, but maybe 20, like maybe a 20-year-old. And then we get to Andrew Burkett here. So if you didn't know Andy, I think is a chick. Like, Andy is a girl's name. I don't know which one she is. It could be that one there. It could be a guy, actually, Andy, that guy. I think that looks like a bald chick. There, that looks like a guy. I don't know, man. Like, it's just so blurry. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about today. What's been going on in my life? Doesn't really matter. I'm just a nobody at the end of the day. You probably don't care. Nah, but just got my computer back, so I'm gonna start and try make more videos, especially during launch. It's a very, very important period in a lot of lawnographers' lives, especially this one, 10 years, and I do feel like the community is as big as it's been, and obviously the community grows over time, but there's a lot more stuff going on in lawnography now because of all the content than ever before. Um, yeah, I also wanted to talk a bit about how I got into lawnography. I mentioned it in Adam's live stream, and if you guys aren't subscribed to I Wreck Everything, which I'm sure you all are, I did a live stream with Andy Burkett and Adam, and I did mention at one point what got me into lawnography, but what happened? Oh, and also, you guys leave comments. I'm really interested in how you found TCAP or lawnography. Like, leave a little synopsis. I'm interested to read what you guys, or how you guys found it. But for me personally, I remember vividly, I was on Facebook in 2014, I believe. I'd never heard of TCAP. Barely anyone in Australia has. Like, I still bring it up now, and people have not even heard of Chris Hansen. Maybe that's just my inner circle, but I do have friends from all over the place, and they haven't heard of it initially when I come into contact with them. But I was on Facebook, and it was just a vigilante approaching a pedophile, and I was fucking getting so fired up. I was like, "This is beautiful. Look at this piece of shit." And I'm like, "I'm going to look up more of these." And obviously, I typed in "pedophile gets caught," I think something like that. And then I found To Catch a Predator. It was all To Catch a Predator. And I watched one of the compilations. It had like 500k views, and it was just Chris Hansen coming in and saying something smart. And I was fucking dying. It was unbelievable. I will never ever experience a feeling like that ever again. It was aggression mixed with euphoria, mixed with, it was unbelievable. But I was just watching all the compilations, all the Predators, Jeff Stacey. I did mention this, but I did find Lorne to be not as interesting as a lot of the others. I mean, it was very interesting the fact that he spoke for a month and they showed all the pages and Lorne started crying. I was like, haha. But I mean, in comparison to John Canelli, Jeff Stacey, even Palumbo, I love those Predators a lot more. It was weird because I know a lot of people watch TCAP and they said Lorne was one of their favorites, but honestly, in that first year or so, he wasn't up there for me. And I was subbed to a heap of different channels, and I didn't watch TCAP every day, like maybe once a week. Went back around, I think it was like late 2014, mid 2014, and that's when the Lorne interview went up from Sam Pendleton, and I'm like, what's the fuss? I was reading through the comments, and people were going nuts, and I can't remember if I saw Base Shaman long after that, because I started looking up Lorne Armstrong, because I noticed Lorne was the talk of the town, and I found Base Shaman, and then not long after that I found Church of Cod, and then Nathaniel, of course, Ember's great videos, Joey Jeremiah, and I only started YouTube because there was a period in my life where or even recently, I get a lot of fucking study, guys, and I got a lot of shit to do in terms of note taking, just learning. Those calls really helped me in my life, and I would have 6 hours of Ramona, that chick, talking to Lorne, and I would just get through so much study. I'm a very strong multitasker for some reason. I'm able to look. I'm inferior in a lot of other areas of my life, but in terms of multitasking, I'm able to listen to stuff and study at the same time. I create this wall in my brain, and one side can listen to the call, one side can study. Obviously, it's not as efficient as studying, but I mean, I can study for 6-7 hours and listen to this call. And I would not be able to study for 6 hours without listening to something. It would drive me insane. So it has helped me greatly in my life. And I can admit right now that Lornography has probably helped my grades. How the fuck has Lornography helped my grades? Well, I just explained it. But how could a pedophile on the other side of the world... No, he's not a pedophile or not. Predator, attempted predator, whatever. You know what I mean. Imagine this guy, Lorne Armstrong, the first minute he started talking to Kayla, he wouldn't fathom that in 10 years he would be helping the grades of a guy living across the other side of the fucking world. But that's honestly what's happening. Like, I'm listening to these calls and pumping through study and getting good marks on my test. Because I'm not going to sit down and listen to the call just by itself. I'm going to study. But yeah, I saw Base Shaman's videos, Nathaniel's, and I remember there was a period about a year ago where Joey Jeremiah, he was starting up. He started a bit more than a year ago, but Nathaniel's videos were down. His channel got deleted. Base Shaman was not uploading as much. And there was just like a 2-week period of no content. And I was watching To Catch a Predator. I was watching the guy who, not the Lurch, the guy who, Alan Cherney with the sore back, and I was just dying, and I just made a new YouTube channel, because I've got another YouTube channel, my own private one, I don't have any videos on it, but I used to use that to comment on videos and stuff, and I'm like, I'm just gonna start a new channel, put up this video and see if people like it, and turned out, yeah, a couple of people for some reason liked it. Yeah, that's about it, really. It's just interesting. Like, it's a community that's sprinkled all over the world. You've got Adam in Spain, Andy in UK, you got me in Australia, other Australians, you got Americans, a lot of Americans, but like, I'll go on my YouTube channel, look at the demographic, and you've got people from everywhere. I mean, USA is the main area, but you honestly have people from all over the world. And it's not bad people, or not entirely, let's just say. everyone that does come to the community, there seems to be more good people than bad people. Very nice people. A lot of content creators are very, very good people. And, we just like seeing bad people get caught. And I think that's a very high testament to the people we are. Because, bad people may not want to see other bad people get caught. But when you're a good, upstanding citizen, you hate scumbags. You hate these people who bring down people, and you want to see them not get wiped from the, not get killed, but do time, go to jail, learn their lesson, and come back, hopefully, an upstanding citizen. But there was a lot I want to talk about, and I'll probably make, hopefully a few more videos, guys. But what else can we talk about? Well, I'm sitting here doing nothing. We got, what else do we have? Apparently, Westerbeck calls have happened, but the caller, unfortunately, hasn't released all the calls. There were some boring calls that I believe between the caller and Westerbeck, but juicy details do come out later. And we have heard that he did molest, I think, his niece, but also his daughter. Now, I'm not 100% sure. Look, I listened to this like 3 weeks ago, but I'm fairly sure he molested his daughter. Now, you can roast me if that's false information. I apologize, but I'm fairly sure. Also, he's got that lawsuit with the guy who was raping him in jail. Some guy was having his way with Molesterbek. Obviously, after they found out he was who he was, a fucking molester, Molesterbek. So yeah, obviously this guy who was raping Westerbeck is out now, free, and Kevin's just having none of that. He's just saying, fuck that. But Kevin's got a girlfriend now, a girlfriend or wife or something. Like, honestly, the worst possible scenario you can have yourself in. Like, I feel really bad saying this, but let's face it, being a midget, it's very hard in society. Not that like they won't contribute to a society. Like a lot, I know a lot of people who are of shorter stature, who do have that, whatever it is, whatever Kevin and people who are of that stature have, but who do a great job. And now look at one of the greatest UK actors, Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Peter Dinklage, his name is. He's one of the best actors, people are saying, from the UK as of this year or whatever, for a short period of time. So obviously people like that can do very, very well, but at the same time it can be very, very hard. And it's I would not like to be a midget, unfortunately. I would find it very, very hard to fit in. Maybe not fit in, but so Kevin is not only he's a pedophile, a midget, humiliated on TV. 3 very damning factors in his life that really make it hard for him. And he is still getting a chick. Now, I would be very interested to see who this woman is, because I can't see Kevin getting in a relationship. Especially, he's been out for like less than a year, and he's already found a relationship. Something else Jimmy Tacos or Joe Jeremiah said was, Kevin can't actually be in the vicinity of a child, unfortunately. Oh, no, what the fuck am I saying? Fortunately. Which is actually a really interesting law, and I really like that law. Because, Kevin could be a very impulsive person. He might see a kid and be hanging around the area eating dinner, and then, these primitive pedophilia instincts that these creeps have may reinitiate and reignite, and he may hunt down and prey on this child. But if he's thinking, fuck, I can't be in the same room as a kid, like, if he's at dinner, Jimmy Tacos said Molesterbek has to get up and leave the fucking restaurant. How good is that? That is amazing. Like, how is it going to be enforced? I don't know, but if you're going to go back to jail and get your asshole raped every night, like, you're going to leave that room. Westerbeck would not want to go back to prison, I'm telling you right now. But, like, oh, man, I can't imagine, like, wanting to rape. Like, obviously, a lot of these men who do rape other men in prison, they're not gay. They're not homosexual. They just kind of develop these, they're just so much testosterone, so much pent up, aggression. They just need to release. Some of them are homosexuals, but there's a lot that aren't. And like, I just can't imagine wanting to fuck Westerbeck. Like, fuck that. Oh, oh man, I can't imagine that. What else is in TCAP news? Anyway, I got to head off, guys. Hopefully all is well. I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Till next time. See ya.